speech. Okay, as Bruno said, my name is Mao Barros. I've been a designer for the longest time I can remember since I was a little kid. I was one of those kids that were, always related to art, and the only, subject that I really enjoyed in school was art. Illustrating and painting. And trying different things visually. And then when the time came, I went to college, and then I became a generalist designer, so I speak. Okay, so from that point on, my design career went on throughout brand and also illustration. And then for the last 10, 15 years, I've been into completely into digital design. Okay, so since I guess 2012 or 14, I'm not sure. I've been a digital designer, and then I started specializing in UI design, UX design, and so on. You guys, I'm sure you guys know the drill. Okay, so along with my two friends, Carlos and Fernando, we founded Deploy, which is a spin-off of our first agency together. We had a design studio, an agency, and then we were into selling design projects, websites, brand projects, even seminars, big things. And then we started like out of the blue helping people to get hired. And then we were like, well, we have the skill, we have the means, uh, we have a designer in the team, which is me. And then I guess we get everything we need in order to start really helping people and going deep into helping people get hired in the design field. So Deploy, as you can see my shirt here, you guys can notice my Figma pen, right? So from that point on, guys, we came to Portugal, and then we started our business here alongside with Brazil. And then today we have a large business who have helped a lot of people to get hired. And also we have helped companies to find the right person. So we've been doing this for the last 6, 7 years, all day, every day, even Saturdays and Sundays. I'm kidding. Okay, and then this has helped us to understand the market, understand the needs. What exactly are companies hiring when it comes to design? So we can see that in company A, there is a level of maturity in design. In company B or C or D or even E, we have different levels of maturity in design, which means for us that how companies see design. And by the way, how companies invest design. Okay, so when I say invest, is in people. It's not investing in Figma or tools. These are also investments, but the greatest investment that a company can do when it comes to design is people. Okay, so we've been doing this a bit. We have learned a lot, and I'd like to share with you guys a few of our knowledge and experience in the hiring of web UX design hiring field. Okay, so as you can see in the screen, we are talking about today soft skills. Okay, soft skills in focus, hiring expectations in the AI design era. Okay, I'm gonna be very short in my presentation so you guys don't sleep. Okay, so I hope this information can help you guys thrive in your design career. Okay, so as you can see, the AI design era is happening already. Okay, so this is changing everything around us. I'm sure you guys, have heard or read about this, and this is the main point. This is the main stage of what's happening in the design field. How is AI affecting our day-to-day work and day-to-day relation with our companies that we provide services for, or our co-workers, or even our clients? Okay, so AI is taking over many technical design tasks, from layouts and prototyping to even ideation. I can tell that because an AI just like Random helps me, to ideate my process to make a wireframe in seconds. Okay, all I have to do is prompt something that I'm thinking about, and then the AI does the rest. Okay, so this has become very easy and very fast. Okay, so design roles are shifting from execution to more strategic, human-centered thinking, which means that if we have AI to do the heavy lifting for us, what is it that is left for designers to do, to think? And I can tell you guys, I'm gonna tell this all over and over and over our talk, is that companies are buying your thinking. They're not buying just your hands. They are buying you. Okay, so what's left for us? Thinking, our rational, how we solve problems, how we face difficulties, and a little rocks on our path. Okay, so today employers value how designers think, collaborate, and adapt. If I can say, you guys, adapt is the most important one. Okay, because in the last 7 years, we've seen that one of the most valuable thing that a company expects from a designer when they hire and also they invest in a designer is that that designer will adapt to the culture, will adapt to the environment, to the people, to the culture, to the company itself. Okay, so AI can design faster, but it can't replace human judgment or thinking. Okay, so AI can tell you, hey, this layout is great, but you know the product, you know the client, you know the feature. So it's your judgment that matters in the end of the day. Okay, so it's your thinking. How exactly uh, have you come to this conclusion? How which path did you choose? In order for you to become a better designer and to deliver what it is that you deliver to your company or client. Okay, so AI is great. AI is amazing. It's a process. Speedster, if I may, but still companies are after you. They are after the way you think, the way you move, the way you interact, and most importantly, the way you adapt to the environment. Okay. Other than that, from the hiring perspective, it's so much more than tools. So I've been in several interviews, guys, and one of the last things that our clients request when it comes to interviewing a designer is the tools they use. Because in case you didn't know, it's not every company that allows tools like Figma or Webflow or Typeform or Wix. There are some types of companies that have rules inside, and then you don't get to use Figma. So this is a great example, guys, that again, companies are hiring you. They're not hiring Figma. As much as we love Figma, okay, it's an amazing and great tool, but it doesn't work in every context, in every scenario. So in that case, imagine that you get hired, okay, and then the company says to you, hey, you're not using Figma today, or tomorrow, or next week, or this year. Okay, you're using our app, you're using Sketch, you're using UXPN or whatever other app. So are you going to cry or are you going to adapt? Okay, so your process, your thinking it doesn't have to be inside a tool. It must not actually be a tool, but a process in your mind. It's the way you flow with things. It's the way you talk to people, the way you learn from people, the way you communicate, and also the way that you adapt to your environment. Okay, so when it comes to hiring people, guys, uh, all that matters is what is beyond tools. Okay, so mastery of Figma, Lovable, ChatGPT is expected. Of course, it is expected, but it's not exceptional. So knowing how to do is great. I know it is great, but what's in the table here is not the tool, it's the person. Okay, so the differentiator lies in soft skills, not hard skills. Okay, so again, as much as we love Figma, people hire you because who you are and what exactly you can deliver, not only the tool. Okay, so how you solve conflicts, how you bring people together, and how you communicate. Okay, I've seen so many people that started working after COVID. So those type of professionals, they've never been in a corporate scenario, in a physical environment where you see people live, where you knock the door of someone else, and then you get to know that person, where you can perform a design ritual with live people, not only on Google Meet or uh, Microsoft Teams or whatever other tool. Okay, so for those people, life is a little harder when you are forced. When you are forced to go to the office and interact with people. So in our point of view, from the company's perspective, people that don't adapt to live interaction, to live communication with real people, don't last long in the UX career. Okay, this is heavy, guys, I know, but it's true. Okay, so employers seek designers who can bridge teams and translate needs into meaningful outcomes. Again, guys, it's all about you. It's all about how you perform. It's all about your deliverables. In design hiring today, soft skills are the real currency. It's the currency to exchange. Okay, so when companies are after someone, they are after skills. They are after soft skills. How are you gonna adapt in their context, in their culture, in their scenario? Okay, so your behavior is being watched. You are being watched. Okay, so what does it mean to what are the core soft skills in demand? Okay, there are so many more than this four, but still I'm mentioning only four today. Okay, so the first of them is teamwork, collaboration within hybrid cross-functional teams. If you don't get to understand how a team works, if you only work alone, maybe UX design doesn't work for you because you have to like people. You have to consider people. You have to relate to people's pains and people's problems, even and especially in the working scenario, in the company's context. Okay, so teamwork is expected by companies for you not to be a master, but at least to force yourself to be a better designer, a better communicator, a better co-worker. So you don't get to be the rock in the path of the other designers. Okay, so teamwork is very, very important. Other than that, commitment. As I mentioned before, guys, we see people giving up their jobs too early. You know, we hire people that don't want to stay 6 months or even 1 year in the companies. This is very bad for business. It's bad for the company. It's bad for the team. It's bad for the product. And most of all, most importantly, it's bad for you because the next company will ask you, what happened? Why did you leave so soon? Okay, so your resilience and your commitment are very, very, very important because companies are investing in you. Not only expectations, but they're investing their money. So imagine that you leave the team with less than 6 months in the house. Okay, company will lose you, and then they're going back to the market to find someone, in order to replace you. And when they find someone, and this process is not very quick. I can tell this because we do this all the time, all day, every day. It's not quick. Okay, so when they get someone else to be in your shoes in the company, okay, that there goes another 6 months of onboarding, of adaptation. This new person doesn't know anything about the company or the culture or the product or even the features. Okay, so your commitment to the company is very important. So proactivity and ownership in fast-paced deliverables. So people are going to expect for you to perform, to be the best designer you can be. Okay. Other than that, communication, as we mentioned before, clarity, empathy, availability across the company, which means that companies expect for you to look around, go around, talk to people, understand their pains, understand the other departments' problems and pains. Okay. So if you can't communicate, we have a serious problem here. Oh, Mao, but I don't have that skill. Well, nobody is born with this skill. I wasn't born with this skill. I was a very shy person as a kid, as a teenager, even as an entrepreneur, I was shy. But I had to, master my shyness and then become the person that I am today. So if it was possible for me, I'm sure it's possible for you. Okay, so you have to train your communication skills in order to stay in the company or even stay relevant to the company and the team that you are inserted with. Okay? And last but not least, social awareness. When I say social awareness, guys, I'm not talking about Instagram or LinkedIn or even TikTok. I'm talking about knowing what's happening in your surroundings. What you listen, what you see, how you interact, how you relate to people's problems and pains. Okay, so understanding the context, understanding the culture, and the way your coworkers think. Okay, so imagine that you are a master in Figma, and then you have somebody else in your team that is not a master in Figma. It's a junior designer. It's someone that is starting now the design career. In that case, what will you do? Will you create a huge space between you and that person? Or are you going to reduce this space by spending time with this person, being patient with this person? Talking to your directors or managers and say, hey, I need a little more time because there's people in my team that don't master Figma, they don't master my processes or your or our processes. Okay, so the deliverables can be compromised because of that person or those persons. Okay, so in that case, you have to be aware of that. You have to talk to people and understand their momentum, understand the way that they do things right now. All right, so your ability to adapt defines your impact and makes you stand out. So if I am your manager and you come to me with something like this, hey Mao, I know that we are in a fast-paced environment. I know that we have a lot of things to do, but in my shoes, I can tell you that some people in my team, they are not as fast as me, which means that our deliverables can be compromised, but no problem. I'm just telling you that I'm aware of that. I am worried about that because this is my problem as much as it's your problem. Okay, so I'm still figuring out a way to make everyone go in the same pace. But I need time, I need more resources, I need more effort from those other kids, and I need you to talk to them in order for them to be more helpful and more understanding. I don't know. So if I am your manager and I hear something like this, I'm gonna love you, because I see that you are interested in solving a problem. No AI will do that for you. You have the feeling, you know the context, you know your coworkers, you know the company, you know your leaders, your managers. Okay, so uh, it's kind of automatic. You're gonna stand out. That's for sure because people are watching the way you solve problems. Okay, not only users' problems, but inside companies. I can tell you this. You can tell this. There's a lot of problems, a lot of challenges. Okay, so to design it for your own edge. Okay, what does it mean? It means that you have to balance AI proficiency with genuine human skills. So if you can adapt, if you can communicate, if you can commit, if you can perform a great teamwork, bring people together and for them to perform a great teamwork, okay, that's it. All that mixed with your mastery of Figma and other tools that you use on a daily basis, okay, no problem. You are surfing the wave in the right way. Okay, showcase soft skills in portfolios and interviews through stories and examples, guys. In this under the skin of someone that represents companies, okay, I know their pain, and I can tell me and my team can tell you that uh, portfolios used to be better. Now portfolios are a pain, because, for example, if we have an opening, okay, and we have 10 applicants, I can tell you that at maximum we have two good portfolios, the other eight terrible. Okay, so this is very, very important. Oh, wow, but they are hiring me. They're not hiring just the things that I can do. Okay, but the portfolio is your business card. It's proof that you're capable or you're the right person for the job. Okay, so in your portfolio, you have to commit to it. You have to tell a story. You have to attract people to read your story and understand how did you manage to solve the problems of the projects that you're mentioning in your portfolio. Okay, so the way you show that says so much about you, you have no idea. So if you can't, write a case, a portfolio case, are you the right person to join my team or the company's team? If you're not that person, if you don't do that homework, you leave the hire the benefit of the doubt. People will ask. They will, well, if I'm not seeing anything here, when I hire this person, will I see something in the first place? Okay, so keep developing emotional intelligence as much as you learn new tools. The way you interact with someone else, and the way you respond, you answer to the challenges of your day to day, it says so much about you. Okay, so much more than learning or mastering tools like Figma. Okay, so great designers don't just design, they are investments, they are not expenses. Guys, let me poke you a little. Okay, are you a valuable designer? If your answer is yes, is your leader or the market, in case you are unemployed, is the market aware of that you are an investment, not an expense? Do you know your professional value? Do you know? Are you aware that companies invest heavily in UX design? Money, I mean, and how much money they have to invest in you in order to see your results. Okay, everything about companies, guys, is investment. Okay, so are you a good investment? So the great designers, they are investments. But how can they tell they are great investments? Because companies can see their value. Okay, so I'm not saying you're not valuable. I'm saying that is the people related to you in your work environment aware of your value? Ask yourself that from time to time. Okay, so if you can't say anything about this, you're an expense. If you can defend yourself and say, hey, I am worth the investment, then you are an investment. So this kind of situation, guys, has to be clear in your mind. Okay, when it comes to looking for a job. Okay, so that was my talk. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope I have helped you in some way in your careers. Okay, if you want to know more about how we hire people, you can go to deploy.me.